Hi everyone, today we are doing another bike review. I've been sent another bike and it's by Engway and it's the X26. And no, I haven't got a helmet on, and no, I'm not going to be doing any riding. Have you got any idea why? Well, quite simply, this bike that I've been sent falls outside of the regulations for electrically assisted pedal cycles. They are quite complex, these regulations, and they are quite confusing. But something didn't quite seem right about this particular bike that I've been sent. It's huge. It's very, very heavy. And there are a couple of details on the website that I wasn't too happy with. I had to delve in a little bit myself and actually find out exactly what part of the regulations I thought it broke. So if I have to do that, I do have a big worry about how other people who maybe aren't quite so knowledgeable are going to get on if they're thinking of purchasing an electrically assisted pedal cycle. In other words, one with a battery and a motor. Now, I did do a little bit of digging, and this bike falls down on a couple of areas. It has got a throttle that propels the bike. Now, a throttle on its own isn't necessarily a big deal. What you can have, as I've got on my Himaway, is a throttle to aid you to get started. And I think we're allowed up to, is it 6 kilometers an hour? I'm not sure exactly. Again, sometimes these regulations all blur into one big mess in my head. But yeah, you are allowed a throttle to allow you to get going, and there's a couple of exemptions, I believe, for bikes that were already throttle assisted prior to a certain date. Again, I'm not 100% sure, but this one, the throttle can propel the bike. Apparently it can be turned off, but this throttle can propel the bike, and as you'll see by this short video, it can go up to 17 miles an hour. So there's just one more little extra thing that I've just realised. When I did the speed test in a garage before, it was just with this front battery on. I've now turned this battery on and the speed goes a fair bit quicker. So I'm going to lift the bike up and just use the throttle. And as you can see, it goes quite quick. And if Liz will come in here and video that, you can see it's traveling at 31 miles an hour. Wow. So that was one thing that led me to think it wasn't quite right. The next thing was its weight. I do believe that this Engway X26 is too heavy for regulations. Whether or not that the police are going to check this if you did get pulled over, I'm not sure. I did message Merseyside Police on X and asked them to see whether I could bring the bike down, that I had my suspicions that it was against regulations, but they must have been a little bit busy, so they didn't respond. In any case, I can easily get this message out. Let me just walk around this. Looks as though they're putting the fibre in, which I've already got at mine, which is a bit of a touch. It's made my life a hell of a lot easier. So yeah, this bike weighs, and I even, to be honest, I let the person know who I'd been in contact with from Engway that their website was incorrect. They said it was 41 kilograms. It's not, it's 43.6. And again, it falls outside of the regulations. I believe that a bicycle, a electrically assisted pedal cycle, has a maximum weight, as long as it's not a tandem, apparently of 40 kilograms. This isn't a tandem. It's got sort of like a padded area on the back, but a tandem, again, back to these regulations, they are quite complex. I believe you have to be, well, for a bike to be classed as a tandem, it has to have an ability for two people to propel the vehicle, I believe. Again, don't quote me on this. Regulations are quite complex, but it's not a tandem. It's a bike made for one person, and it's heavier than it should be. The next thing is about the maximum continuous power of this vehicle. It is a vehicle. We'll go on to that in a second. But yeah, of this electrically assisted pedal cycle, the maximum power is 1,000 watts. That falls outside the regulations quite significantly. Now, regulations are 250 watts, should be the maximum, and this should be stated on the sticker on the bike, and it doesn't say that. The sticker even on this bike is poor. It's so poor, it's unbelievable. It looks as though it's been stuck on as an afterthought, which leads me nicely onto how does trading standards, or how does this company get through trading standards? It's absolutely ridiculous. Now, I'm not going to go into the argument of the power of electrically assisted pedal cycles. I think as long as they're not going to be going too fast, you might need a little bit of extra power to get you up a particular hill. But honestly, my Himaway, 250 watts, easily powerful enough. Not a problem, not an issue. So this is 1,000 watts. So it falls down on a number of areas with these regulations, but the company, Engway, didn't really seem too bothered. I'm going to cross the road here. No, they didn't really seem too bothered. Now, I did let them know of my concerns straight away. I asked them, how do they get through the regulations? I even put a link to the regulations in the email that they sent. And this was their alarming response.
This is my first reply. Before I do any filming, I'd just like to ask a couple of questions if that's okay. The sticker on the bike with the CE mark does not show the information I thought it would. Could you confirm the maximum continuous rated power of the bike? I can find the peak power, but I can't find anything with the maximum continuous rated power. Could you also confirm the weight of the bike is 41 kilograms, and if it is, do you realise that it's above the maximum weight in the regulations for this type of bicycle? On the sticker, it says the bike weighs 43.6 kilograms. They replied, the maximum continuous rated power of the X26 is 1,000 watt. The weight of the bike is 43.6. Thanks to the reminder, I have corrected it. They don't mention anything about the regulations, so I bring it up in my reply. Unfortunately, your confirmation of the maximum continuous rated power makes the X26 illegal to use as an EAPC on UK roads. The regulations are quite complex, but I'm pretty certain this is the case. Could you let me know if there's anything I am missing about your product and how you get round these regulations? They replied, for one thing, you can ride off-road so you don't have to worry about breaking regulations. On the other hand, according to the experience of some users, when you are about to encounter the police, you can stop using the pure electric mode, but switch to the assisted riding mode to slowly pass through the road section where the police are present. As far as I know, the top speed is also illegal. The actual top speed of the X26 can reach 50 kilometers per hour or 31 miles an hour.
So, as you can see, they expect me just to ignore that the bike is out of regulations. Now, we're just going to go on to that a second. You imagine, if this is out of regulations, is it classed as an electrically assisted pedal cycle? The answer is no. So therefore it becomes a moped or an electrically powered motorbike. Therefore it hasn't been registered, hasn't got number plates, it's got no tax, it's got no insurance. What would happen if I actually rode this? Points galore, end of me as a driving instructor, and honestly, what credibility would I have doing the stuff that I do if I got caught riding, or in fact rode this on the road? So there's no in the world that I'm going to ride it. That's why it's probably the strangest bike review that you'll ever see. I'm just pushing this thing down the road. So it's a massively heavy vehicle. It's got two batteries. It's got one in the frame and then one in the seat post. It's classed as a foldable bike, but have a quick look at this video that I made. My missus took the video of me just folding it so you can access the battery. It's a bit of a joke.
Jesus. Is that the wrong way around? Yeah. We can check. Let's make sure it's locked. Done. Now it's even heavier. Okay. Done.
So I couldn't even ride this. I thought about where could I ride it. I thought about taking this down to where I got brought up in Formby Beach. But then, am I riding an electric moped on the beach? Is that allowed? I don't think it is. There's a local park here, just off to my right hand side. I thought, oh, I'll take it to the park. But then hang on a minute, I'm riding a moped in a park where there could be kids about. So honestly, I couldn't come up with anywhere where I could ride it. I've not got a big field with private land. I've got a couple of mates from years ago. One of them owns a farm up in Ormskirk way. Suppose I could have asked Phil, but honestly, it was too much like hard work. And it's the message that I would like to get across of, if you're purchasing something like this, where would you ride it? Off-road use. I know where I occasionally go to ride my mountain bike in Llandegla. If you're riding an electrically assisted pedal cycle, let's just go down a curb a sec. If you're riding an electrically assisted pedal cycle, it has to fall in within regulations. So I couldn't have even taken it there. It's too heavy to singularly put on my bike rack to transport anywhere. So honestly, it's utterly pointless. And it's actually a big shame, because it's got lights front and back, it's got hydraulic brakes, the range is pretty good. The gear set, it's the normal stuff that comes with these type of bikes. It's basic Shimano stuff. The big tyres, I like them, got them on my Himaway. The screen is pretty clear and easy to operate, but this bike is absolutely useless. And it's over £2,000. I think it was 2,200 and something when I looked the other day. Well, they do occasionally vary in price. But the message that I'd like to get across with this is, if you're thinking about purchasing a bike with a motor and an electrical assist part to it, please look at it carefully, because there's no way in the world I would want you to spend any of your hard-earned money. I'm just going to go over here and let this lady and the dog come past. Thank you. Yeah, there's no way in the world I'd want you to spend any of your hard-earned money, £2,000, on something that if you rode on the road it's just potentially going to give you a load of points and a big fine. So, does that class as the strangest bike review that you've ever seen? Possibly, but I think everyone knows me by now. Don't care whether I upset the company. Their response has been absolutely awful. Do I recommend the Engway X26 or any of their products? No. Do your research before you purchase anything and keep yourself safe out there. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Hope you enjoyed that. I'll see you soon.